Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and today we've got a brand new installment of This Week in EDM where you go over songs that came out this past week in EDM. Yes, the past week in EDM past because I'm behind a week and still want to do an individual video because life is busy sometimes. So let's hop into it.
Ain't no time to think, I wanna stay forever.
Starting us off in the trash category is Dolla and Kid Cudi with Forever, a very unimpressive and bland dance pop track that plays things way too safe in the form of kind of lacking any real substance. Kid Cudi's performance is subdued and boring, and the production is so bland. We got Martin Jensen and Jaimes with Say No More. I'm so confused who Martin Jensen is as an artist or who he's transformed into nowadays. For a guy that was once a leader in the kind of Eurohouse sphere, this is a far cry from anything remotely strong. It's a terribly and annoying, boring house track over a nursery rhyme melody that I know as Frere Jacques, and unnecessary swearing in the nursery rhyme cover was definitely a choice. Then we got Slushii featuring Seddy Hendrinx with Wanna Be the One. The turn from an underground rigid speed house track to a pop trap radio top 40 hit is one of the wildest turns I've maybe heard since I've started this channel. And we're actually skipping over the bad category because I don't think there's any bad songs, like they're really bad or they're just meh. So we've got CHYL with Show You What You Love. Progressive Speed House is maybe the best way to describe this track, as this thing kind of feels like it's being pulled in two opposing directions sonically, and I just don't really think they ever met too well in the middle. And I don't love the melodic dubstep drop CHYL went for in the end. We got Barely Alive with, yes, Chicken Jockey, a wild song for sure that turns the meme up to 11. And yeah, so to some extent I embrace the meme, but on the other end, it's a little too heavy-handed for me to really want to revisit it. I am going to maybe not revisit this song myself, but if I heard the song live, I definitely would lose my mind. So it's meh, but also in a live context, this would be kind of fire. Then we've got Sultan Shepard with Mio from a new A-B kind of double-sided single here. A long new melodic house track that quite frankly doesn't do too much with its runtime in terms of progression. It's got a neat beat and atmosphere, but little lackluster elsewhere for me to really enjoy. Then we got Code Pandorum with Nightmare Fuel from the EP of the same name. Pretty much as the title explains, this song is sinister in theme. It's got a moody kind of rhythm cut that absolutely sticks the landing on its tone and theme. That being said, this style isn't one that I particularly resonate with, but if you love the kind of dark, overarching dubstep sound, you'll love this EP. Then we got Tisoki with Gone for a Minute. A quick hit of Tisoki's intense trap production, and while I generally enjoy the tune, I don't really find a ton of replayability from it, with its kind of familiar and simple drops with a bit of a Latin pull to them, especially in the second half. And then we're moving into the good category. We've got Mr. FijiWiji with Ohio. Another really nice garage tune from Fiji with lots of atmosphere, but I will say it does take a moment to really get things going. And when it does pick up in the back half, it's one of his best of this style as of late. We've got Axel Boy with One More Night. Another deeper, energetic drum and bass tune from Axel Boy. It's another track that isn't anything too special, but the production is super clean and well polished, and it's at least a tier above generic drum and bass. Then we got Chime and Nytrix with Runaway. I'm pretty iffy on this track, honestly. It has all the flashiness and creativity of a Chime and Nytrix collab, but the big moments didn't really land as strong as I was hoping they would. I still do enjoy the track, but it feels almost like a derivative of their own. Petit Biscuit featuring Lizzy with Everything in Its Right Place from the new Movement 1 EP. I love the vocal editing and chopping done to Lizzy's vocals here, and it really makes it quite complementarian to the kind of simple deep house production that Petit Biscuit went with here. Another really vibey track that's a little bit more on the abstract side of things with a moodier tone. Then we've got Sudden Death, PeelingFlesh, Nimda, and YVM3 with Midnight. Probably the most intense song you'll hear this year. This group has put together one of the heaviest songs of the 2020s, and it's so unapologetically insane. So if you love that, you will love this. Then we got Wink with Weightless, a pretty nice and fairly collected little rigid dubstep cut that has a bit of an underground feel to the whole thing. Nothing too crazy on the drops, and they stay fairly linear, but the vibes are quite immaculate. Then we got Sublab with Breakthrough from the new AB double-sided single release. A pretty unique track by Monstercat standards with this kind of dreamy, almost like hard wave-like sound design that is both nostalgic and a little rougher than your usual wave or synthwave cut. Definitely a fun tune though. Then we get Lizdek and Natura with Hyperstrike, a wildly unique club-focused track that is this kind of strange hybrid between like peak time techno and bass house, yet the whole thing stays fairly calm, yet also unrelenting. Then we got Phone On with Weevil Lore from the new Fizz Volume 1 EP. Also, that EP is with Israel Storm. But yeah, this is one of the most bizarre songs, let alone full album, you'll hear this year. A strange fusion of new jazz and drum and bass production makes for a cheery and colorful soundscape, yet one that's filled entirely to the brim with nonsense and chaos. Weevil Lore here is one of the only, I think the actually only solo Phone On track of the record, and is truly an exploration into his wild sanity. Then we've got Koven with Turning Point from the new Moments in Everglow LP. A fairly standard drum and bass tune by Koven standards that very much plays things on a bit of a safer route. A route that they pretty much did take on this record, I would say. Which I don't think is a bad thing by any means, but it's just a little bit more reserved than I maybe would have liked. Still a fantastic song, though. Then we got Tokyo Machine and Guy Arthur with Watch Out! Well, this being the now second dubstep single of 2 released, I'm guessing the whole kind of EP will likely be dubstep at this point that we're getting from Tokyo Machine. And I'll say, I think this track is a great improvement over Lock and Load. The drops are a little bit more palatable, and when the song needs to kind of hit hard in its finale, these two drop a pretty great dubstep final movement. Then we got the Ever and Maxwell and Wiesel remix of Spirit Showdown, originally by Ace Aura and Focused. A pretty fantastic remix that really elevates those main minor chords and pipe organ synths from the outro of the original track, and even adds a whole 90 seconds to the runtime with a longer lead-in and outro, which I especially love. I actually think this is a strong improvement over the original. Then we got Matoma featuring Tommy Harkett with Almost Real. A very unique and almost tribal-like track at times with these kind of simple drum beats and constant vocal chanting. It's definitely not explicitly EDM, but this sound feels very fresh and creative, and I'm all here for it. Then we've got Dabin and Grabbits with Nothing at All from the new Aura Park LP out now by Dabin. From what I've heard from this Dabin album, I'm loving it, and I think this Grabbits collab is my favorite that I've heard so far. Their two sound identities work really well in tandem, and I love the more reserved melodub approach to the production that lets Grabbits' vocal chanting really shine. And heading into the standout category, we've got Skybreak featuring PVC with Antimatter from the new double-sided single. Really enjoying the start of this new Half-Blood Skybreak era that has a more kind of full, more gritty edge across both tracks, but especially Antimatter. PVC's vocal feature is great, and I really appreciate the more kind of heavy sound design from Skybreak on these two. And finally, we've got Ray Volpe with Payback. Wait. Bass House Ray Volpe is actually just his best sound yet. I'm actually blown away by this new tune, and I think it's truly one of his best tracks, maybe ever. I absolutely love this thing. It's intense yet palatable enough for a kind of tamer audience, and my goodness, this song bangs. But that's been This Week in EDM. Let me know what you think of any and all songs in the comment section below. But other than that, I'm Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I'll see you guys in another video.